I spend more time looking for tools at this point than I do actually doing work, which is very annoying, if you know what I mean. If I don't find the clamps, then I'm just going to clamp you guys to something else with a different clamp. I am very close to doing a massive cleanup on everything here. It's just an absolute pit of a work area right now. No one's fault but my own, but I really can't find anything right now. I was already planning on doing a massive cleanup whenever I got done with this, so I didn't leave a mess here. I was working. Okay, I'll just show you what I'm doing. This is the back of my rig. All the way up there is pretty much done. The stuff that has this line along the bottom, which I'm not sure is coming out. There's a line going across here. That's where I'm going to cut and re-weld the doors back up. But to get that part right, I have to do the bumper. And this is about an inch. How much is it, I wonder? That's the original aluminum bumper. I've already destroyed it back here, and I haven't done any off-roading on it. Yeah, it's about an inch thick aluminum, which is pretty strong actually. But if you can kind of imagine a line going from the bottom lowest point of right there, that bar right there, and then coming up this way, I have a lot more clearance, and I can do a lot better approach angle with this rig if this bumper wasn't on there. That being said, I like this bumper, but I'm gonna pretty much take off the whole point of the whole back of the system. And what I want to do is put a hitch mount underneath here so I can tow with it. So I don't know why it smells like gasoline back here. I think it has something to do with I spilled something back here. But I've gone back and forth on this, but we're gonna delete the rear bumper and the rear step here. I'm cutting out the metal right now. I went ahead and bought the metal early on because I really wanted to do it. You can see the C channel. We're gonna have to bolt it back into the original frame, and they weren't really the kindest on cutting off the old frame whenever they built this. I've seen some people just take a torch and lop it off, and that's what they did here. Some people cut it off smoothly. This depends on the manufacturer. Neither one are right or wrong, but I have to extend this frame back out to get a bumper to it because this kind of extends out. And I would assume that the original design was to get this low so whenever they carry you into the ambulance, it's easy to step on. The other thing is if a car runs into it, this whole mount would bend back probably. It's really not that thick of metal or that strong of a material in all truth, but the main thing is we want to get a better bumper with more clearance underneath the ambulance. And I want to get more protection for this area, which is the fuel tank, which I think it's a 45 gallon. It might be a 90 gallon. No, it's like 45, 50 gallons. It's a $400 mile range fuel tank. And by doing this, we'll gain vastly a lot more clearance. And oh gosh, I'm gonna have to move my tag too. But we'll bring the new bumper. It'll come out about here, but I want to put the bumper above the rear tail lights here. That will give me about 4 more inches of clearance, which will give me probably 5 or 6 more degrees of approach angle. And normally it wouldn't be such a big deal to have a different approach angle, but I've had to have this towed when we was bringing it back, and just getting up on the single dolly or the flatbed to tow it, I could not do the approach angle on that, and that's a normal item. And future project is to do 4-wheel drive. However, not going to do it now, but the ability to do that is there. So, and I just really want a stronger, meaner, scarier looking bumper because I don't want people to ride my rear end. Also, by doing a new bumper, I can put a motorcycle rack or a bike rack back here. Possibility. Let's see. And be able to tow too. So there's a lot There's a lot of advantages doing a new bumper. The downside is I have to work with metal again, and it's a big major project. I've been putting it off because I've been yin-yang on it kind of thing, and I had all this other work done ahead of it. But we've gotten to the point that we can't insulate the back wall until the back outside wall's done, so we have to do it now. Unfortunately, it's going to be kind of chilly lately, or not lately, but it's going to be chilly soon. And it's this hit the point where we really need to mess with it. Also, probably going to tie the diesel heater into the tank heater, or the fuel tank on the ambulance itself. That being said, I'm getting to work with metal again, which means it's hot, it's painful, and it's spark flying. So I'm gonna bolt you all to a wall so you guys can watch somehow. I don't know if this is gonna work or not until I can find the proper equipment that I need later on, and we'll go from there. Alright, we got 3 of them. I actually have to extend the frame out quite a bit because the way they lopped it off and dropped the frame back on there. Anyhow, today's project is to finish this thing up, which I've been having welder problems, welder problems. I gotta grind down some of my welds and re-weld them. They're not welding very well. I don't know. I think it's my welders up to the last leg. Anyhow, that is going to go, well, actually it's going to replace this here. It's my original bumper. Always planned to replace it, and I really just want to replace it because, you know, if you can see over there, there's nothing more than a single strap, not even, let's see if I can get the angle right. A single strap holding it on with a couple angle pieces, but there's still just this strap holding it on right here, and there's nothing else below it. A little thin piece of metal, and then it looks like they added 2 bolts here to make it on either side to make it so it doesn't move. So it's truly just a step. It's not really truly a bumper, unless they meant for you if you hit it hard enough it jams underneath the rig and stops you from moving farther forward. But I've hit this thing several times, especially on the way back from picking up the ambulance. I've hit it on low rocks, and I don't want to deal with that again. So that's cutting off. The new bumper's getting put on. The hitch will probably just be for small stuff. I don't plan on tying anything major to it. I'll drop a real actual hitch on it, but this is about 3 days worth of mock-up and work towards this goal. And I've had the metal on hand, so why not? So that's what I'm doing today, is welding, grinding, welding, grinding, welding, grinding, welding, grinding, welding, grinding, welding, grinding. And after that's up on, we'll cut that bumper off there, and then we'll finish the door area, get this done. Get all of this done, get the toilet, the tub, like my new kitchen sink in there, the sink area, and then after that I think I'll finish up all the little wood projects in here and then paint, and then we will get down the road. All I need is a working kitchen and working bathroom to get down the road at this point, and I throw everything else in here, and the rest of it can be fitted out later on, not right now. This is where I'm trying to get, because I don't want to be here in storm season. I only want to be here during cold weather, but I am, so it is what it is. Alright, bring you all back in a bit. God, that's heavy. I started using the TIG to weld it. It welds a lot better, but it takes longer to weld it. Anyhow, this is my first test fit of the new bumper. And by the way, it looks really, really good. It's tight, but that's how it's supposed to be. And I think it's going to look good once I get it squared off. Which I'll have to come in here and square that off, I think. I think that'll work out just fine. Oh, it looks good. I'll chop off the other one here in a little while. This kind of helps get up on there. The D-rings came out good. They said they're rated for 2,000 or 20,000 pounds, but there's no way I'm going to do that. But that will give me a lot of clearance. It will give me the space back here I need. I'll probably flip back a little more. Yeah, I can have it out there just as far as the original bumper, which will work out just fine. It'll give me the clearance I need. I think I'll get at least 6 or 7 more inches of clearance out of it. And it gives me a little bumper thing to tie into. I think it's going to block even if I put the highlights on there, it's still going to block them. So, I guess my lights are going above. I could put them on the bumper though. I'm tempted to put them on the bumper actually. We'll see. Sorry about the wind noise. Working on that. We're supposed to have a cold front come through tonight. It's 70 today, and it's supposed to get down to 29 and rain for the next 3 days. I've been working on this for 3 days now. I've been trying to get on there, everything done before this gets here. I'm thinking I'll get all the welds done and maybe the paint. I'll go ahead and paint it tonight and finish up the welds later on tomorrow or something. I would like to kind of drop that other bumper actually. I may do that one also and go from there. But yeah, this looks good. There's I ran a welding wire for my TIG, so I don't know what I'm going to do about that, but I haven't been on the inside working for 4 or 5 days, so it feels like it's been forever since I've been in here. But I also need to get a fuse for my marker lights and have those checked, or check those. But I probably won't be back here working until it warms up in about a week, and then it's supposed to be in the 50s after that for a while. So yay, cold weather, yay. I'm ready to drive on the road, but I don't know, I'm so far away from that. I mean, I'll have the back area done, and by the time I do actually get down the road, every little project will be done, which will also be really good to do, but also, you know, yeah, anyhow, we'll get done what we can get done and move on from there. Alright, side note, cold front's coming in, 20 or 2 degree weather tomorrow. I'm trying to get as much stuff that I need to get done for nice weather. To get the doors closed, I have to either hook up the diesel heater to the outside tank again, or, as I created the access early in the build, God, I'm holding the camera wrong. I'm sorry. I have no idea if that's hot. Ooh, the wind's rocking us. We may end up having to move it tonight just because of the wind. Who knows? Supposed to switch directions. It may have already switched directions. I can't tell. Anyhow, I'm trying to get as much done before the weather changes. It's very suspicious. Anyhow, so this is my fuel tank. This is my access. That is very wisely to build this slide. That works very well. But I think it's very dark in here, but I think that right there is my auxiliary fuel line. I'm going to route that fuel line over to my diesel heater. Up underneath it, I'll have to secure it later on. so I can get it in here and get it running out the diesel and the tank, which would be very good. And sometime I'm gonna have to do either the mod down here. Well, that ended up fitting quite well, actually. Got the old one off with the little fuel thing and slid that one on, tightened it down. I will have to come back and either tie that down or check that connection because it might rub right there. Now I need to go underneath and tie up some lines. Then we'll be able to pull from the tank. Then we'll start it, run it, start it, run it. Till we get something or don't get something, but should work. And then we'll close this all up and have one more major project done. Or planned project. I figure when it gets cold out here, I will be working inside in here, painting and building the toilet and the cabinets and the kitchen and all that, as long as I can keep it warm. But I have to be able to run the heater to keep it warm. But I got it on a switch. You know, I have pretty much unlimited fuel supply because it barely uses any fuel whatsoever. Yeah, we should be fine. Plus, I want to get this done before it gets really cold outside, which that cold front's getting here. It's kind of chilly right now. Alright, so I have it hooked up perfectly. I'm very happy with it. Have it mounted underneath the thing. I'm running a test right now, but it has to suck all that air out of the line, so I imagine I'll have to cycle it on and off a couple times. I don't see any leaks here, and that's good. Since there's no leaks, I'm going to go ahead and cover this up. I love this. This is so nice. I still need to drop a screw in it though. And throw some insulation on top of it. But, oh man, it made it so much warmer in here. Maybe throw some tape on the edges just because. Help keep the wind out, but that's my sliding access to my tank. So if I ever run into tank problems, they'll be easy to fix and cheaper. I gotta fix me a leak back over here. I know I have it, I just haven't got around to it. And then I can also work on the PEX line and get it done. There you go, you can see the back bumper removed. And let's see if we get rid of that red light there. Inside it's cold outside. I've had a hard time going out there and working in the cold. But I need to go shut it down for the night because I'm tired. You know why I'm so tired either. But hey, let's see. Let me show you guys this. Show you all this. Took me forever to warm up earlier. Ooh, that's cold. No critters out here, right? Still snow on the ground. At least our ice is finally melted. Look at that. That's like an inch thick piece of chunk of aluminum. I'm gonna pull it off and save it on both sides. But they had that. This was built, the aluminum was built really good, but for some reason all they had is this little strapping holding on and 2 bolts holding on, which I guess held up fine, good enough. But I feel like it was a little undersized. Anyhow, the other news is I get the final pieces cut off, squared off. All I had to do is weld these on and clean up the rest of this here. We'll have a bumper. This is more or less this to keep stuff from getting stuck between the body and the bumper and pulling weird shit. And it's there to keep stuff out of this area. And then I think I have a couple more welds. I got a big weld here, big weld there, because that's where those shackles are tied into. I would love to finish this area up and seal this whole thing in. We'll see. This side you can see it's done very nicely. This camera sucks at night though. And then once we get done with this and install, we can start on this, and this is the boxes, the back of it, to help give the heater and many other things more protection while we're driving around. Plus a place to put our spare fuel container and our lights. Alright, we got it all done. Most of the bottom paint, the top hasn't been painted. Gotta touch up a little more there. We're gonna be able to put it on. Do the final cut measurements because I'm gonna have a little bit of a gap between here, but that end piece should be fine. Nice and done. And got the holes drilled finally today. That was a pain in the butt for sure. And we're gonna put it in there and see how much, if we can see the lights underneath. If we can see the lights underneath the bumper, we will add the old ones back in there. If we can't, we won't even bother. We'll put the new ones up high. We'll build the shelves out here for this, cover this to give us a little storage. The lights will go just out above it. So I have a little storage. I think we might skip the bottom door and just get on the road. Get the inside done and get on the road. As nice as it would be to have that big amount of storage back here, we'll deal with that later. Anyhow, I am going to go get the bumper. This looks really small in all truth compared to the size of this big rig, but apparently they're enough. Alright, I'm gonna go get that. I'll bring you back in a bit. Alright, I got the bumper on. Got the, well, they're not on yet, but I got my little storage boxes kind of on. This is also where the new lights are going to go. So I can, hang on, something here. So I can have my lights up a little higher and not on the bumper and get a better bumper out of the whole deal and everything else. Lights are going to go just above that and tags going to go on that side. And then as soon as I get these boxes mounted, see, it's just Bosco, leave it access enough for heating. This one will probably have something in it I'm not going to say. This one needs to be raised up. It's not level, it's just sitting on the bumper, so, and the bumper needs to be re-leveled. And as soon as I get these welded on, I'm going to probably mark the lights out, and then I'm going to start on this line area here and get that cut out so I can open that. I'm going to put a little trash bag holder up here too, so I can open that. I think we'll be, well, I gotta put the door holders out there too, and antenna, and then we will be almost done with the back of it, where we can, well, we'll be done enough we can insulate, which should be good. We have about 2 weeks of nice weather here, so we might be lucky. I don't know. I miss Skooliepalooza, as I'm sure you all know. I miss Skooliepalooza, and now I don't know what to rush around for to get done. So, other than I just want it done so I can travel and do some stuff. And this is the last thing that's in my head I have to get out. So I have to. It'll help bounce up the front. Actually, here, I'll show you a side shot of it. If I can get it without the door open, but the door is open right now. Even that's open, but it gives it a nice bounce with the front of it, how it hangs over the front like that. And once I get that painted too, I'll bounce out the whole rig and give it a more balanced look. Plus I'll have a little outside storage. I have a little storage down below. I found my another one of my leaks. Apparently some of my hose clamps on my water system down here are leaking. So I gotta do with that again. So more of that. I gotta get some new hose clamps. Those things are bad, so I can't really run it. Yeah. Bring it all back in probably when I get more solid and better looking. God, it's so nice. Today is hard to sit down and work because it's so nice. Yeah, that's fine. We'll get this done. Once this is done, we'll order the paint to finish painting this, and hopefully we'll get a couple nice days where we can paint the back of this, because that'll make me feel better. Have a couple, well, I know what I'm going to paint it, kind of, everything's kind of, but I know what I'm going to paint it. It'll be mostly white, black, and purple. A little bit of shiny back here, but that shiny will not be facing backwards because I don't want to blind people coming up behind me. We'll get that done. We'll get the inside insulated, and we'll start building. Oh yeah, and just to show you, I did a mock-up of my sink earlier. So my sink is, so to look out the back window I will have to sit on the ground or be pretty low sitting, but it does let a lot of airflow into the space with the door open, so I'd really like to maintain it. And get the measurements for the fridge and some other stuff, so we'll get the kitchen done here pretty darn soon. We got the ceiling mostly up. It's not all the way up, it's mostly up. And then we'll get this done, we'll get the toilet mounted, and I don't know what we're going to do about the bathtub. It's crossing over space and walking space, and I gotta figure out what I'm going to do with that. I may end up having to make my own custom tub, that or cut it in and drop it down into the floor a little and put the couch over it. I could do that. Don't know if it'll drain that way either. We'll see what we can do.